What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna do painting. Got this little brush kit. I don't remember where I got it from, but it's kind of cool. So I'm using fresh brushes for this. See, and they stand up so I can lay it flat and just have them right at the I don't even know what I'm saying. But like, shake up the paint. I'm just using cheap paint for real, to be honest. I don't, and then I use Bear Dynasty or just Bear in general. I got these from Home Depot. They're like $6, but it's cheaper than actually getting like Liquitex or any of the other ones, because you get, I think this is 8 ounces. Oh no, I lied. It's 7.25 fluid ounces. But that's pretty decent, like $6 for this. Because I think, I forgot how much it costs, but I know like 4 ounces is a decent amount. But I already did the sketch. I don't know if you can see it. It's Hove. I'm just gonna do it in black and white. And then I googled what Jay-Z's favorite color is, and there's like a Jay-Z blue, which is like a mix of cobalt blue and something else. So I'm gonna try to like mix that up eventually. But yeah, let's get into it. I chose Jay-Z because besides like Cole, Nas, Jay-Z's like one of my definitely like top 5. I know he don't really make too much shit now, but like you gotta think about it, like he built himself up from the bottom. Let me see if I can get this open. I think there it goes. So he built himself up. So it's not like he like went to school or did anything to. He's like literally self-made, and that's important because it shows people that if you want to do something, yeah, it's gonna take some time. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough road, but it's possible. And then this is the actual reference that I'm using. So it's all in like grayscale. So I'm not really too good at how do you say that, like blending the skin tones and stuff yet. So I like to start out with or do a lot of black and white until I could get used to that. I've only been painting since maybe 2020. Like, yeah, I probably painted as a kid, but not professionally or anything. Like, I'm a self-taught artist, so a lot of these things take a while for me to like learn and grasp, and I watch a lot of YouTube to try and figure out how to do things. But yeah, that's why I like Jay-Z, and his music is really good too, and I just enjoy his songs. And I feel like my time period was a different era. I grew up in the 90s, so I feel like he was the shit. Like, yeah, you got like, later on you got Lil Wayne and all everybody else, but there was a time period where Jay-Z was the one making all the hits. And he's like the go-to artist. Like, he even did shit with Linkin Park. I remember I bought that CD when that shit came out, because it was just like such a dope concept or collab. There wasn't too many people doing that at the time, and it was like two of my favorite. Like, I like Linkin Park a lot. Like, I don't get into like probably I don't know their oldest shit, but I like their music. And I know R.I.P. Chester, but apparently they got a new lead singer and they're still making music and shit, which I think is crazy. If you get a new lead singer, you might as well call yourself something else. Cause I think that's kind of fucked up. I feel like you kind of, once you take the original people out, you kind of created something different. It's not even the same thing anymore. But I don't know. I guess people just move differently. I just think that's fucked up. And I don't have any what's that called, audio and stuff, because I'm not paying for it. Let me be brutally honest with you. Nah, I don't really know how that works. Like, cause I know the one time I made a video, I had a different channel, and it comes up like copyright, so you can't use certain shit even if it has like no words and stuff. So I don't understand that part of YouTube yet, so bear with me as I go down the rabbit hole and learn about, you know, the copyright stuff and how that works, and slowly like build my channel up. But for right now, it's just gonna be me talking, to be honest. So if you're here with me and you rocking out, I really appreciate you. Like, I really, really appreciate you. Yeah. And if you made it this far, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It just helps the visibility of the videos, because I'll be honest, I don't really use hashtags and all that stuff. I'm not really, I know Instagram, I'm used to doing stuff like that. YouTube's like really different. Like, a lot of people want to do YouTube until you actually have to do YouTube, and then you gotta realize there's a lot that goes into it, like with the editing, just like the audio I was just talking about. Like, you gotta know what audio to use, or you gotta use, like, I've watched a lot of videos that said, what's it called, epidemic sound, or something like that, and a lot of people use that. Or damn, what was the other one? I don't remember. It was like music something, but basically what it is like a subscription, and you could use their songs on your stuff as long as it's like, there was like a content creator one that you could have like a certain, it has to be under like 1 million followers to use this one tier. And then there's like an enterprise tier, which is like if you're a big company and stuff like that. But I don't know, just a lot of stuff into it. I'm still learning as I go. That's why I'm making these videos how they are now. As we go along, hopefully I'll get better. But the only way to get better for real is by doing it. Like, you can't be the best at something and just start out and just be the best. You gotta build up to that shit. I know there's a lot of like people talk about overnight success, or like going viral and stuff like that. A lot of the times when people go viral and shit, they made a whole bunch of other videos, and not that say that they got lucky, but for some reason, you know, their shit was viewed a lot. And then what it has to do with is the people too. Like, word of mouth is crazy. It's the best thing, and that shit free. Like, people don't realize that. Like, advertisement, you could pay for it, but at the same time, if you have 5 people and they're your like 5 closest friends or whatever, or family members, who cares like how they're related to you essentially. But if those 5 people have 200 friends each and they share your shit, that's 200 here, 200 there, 200 there, 200 there, 200 there. That's a lot of people. And it don't seem like it, because like we live in an age where like, I don't know, we live in an age where people are growing up with social media now. So all this following, like, I feel like 1,000 people is a lot. 1,000 people to watch your stuff is a lot of people, and that's like not a lot to some people. And I'm just like, yo, I'm happy with my little. I think I have what on my Instagram. I have like 600 followers now, and when I first started, I had like 10, to be honest. And then more random people started coming in, and I started building off of that, off those like 10 people, because I haven't been doing this a long time. I think I started for real, I've been drawing since I was a kid. Like when Pokemon came out, I used to remember that yellow paper with the little lines that you used to write on in school. I used to just draw on there with pencil. I didn't have a lot of art supplies or anything, because I didn't even know I liked to draw, to be honest. I just did it. I was just trying to like essentially like just create the same thing that I was seeing. And then over time I got a little bit better, and then my family started to realize it. So like they kind of encouraged it. I'm gonna just use this. They kind of encouraged it, but at the same time I would always hear comments like, oh, what do you want to do, what do you want to do? And then they would say things like, you know, art doesn't have like it's not like a real career as per se. You need to have a like a backup and shit like that, or something more reasonable. So I never really fully immersed myself. It was always as a hobby, and it wasn't until a couple years ago I started painting, and like the girlfriend I had at the time was like, oh, you know, you're really good, like you don't do this like on the regular. And I was like, no. And then little by little I started getting back into it, and we started like painting and shit, and I started actually selling the artwork. And once I started selling artwork, I was like, I could get paid for this? Like, what? They told me I couldn't. So like it was cool. But it wasn't something that was intentional ever. So that's why it's kind of hard to figure out the path you want to go to and shit like that. Because I started out when I went to school, it was for what I really wanted to go to school for at first, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, was, I think it was called radio and TV. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but it sounded cool. And then, like, to be honest, the radio stations started to, like, dwindle, because at that time, I graduated, I'm gonna, like, date myself at this point. I graduated in 2009, so I'm an old whippersnapper. So, so, yeah, I graduated in 2009. So, like, the time that I was looking at shit, like, they had this program called radio and TV, but then like when everybody else went to school, I actually signed up for the military, believe it or not. And then the military didn't want my ass because I had like stuff going on. So I had like mental health stuff going on that I didn't really understand at the time, and I didn't know it was gonna hurt me in the sense of I couldn't go to the military because of my mental health status and stuff like that. So that threw me into like, how do you explain it? It threw me into like a little bit of a depression, and I was lost for like a long ass time, I'm not gonna lie. And then for a long time I wasn't drawing, I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to figure out how to get a paycheck, and like a decent one at that. Cause like at the time, I think my first apartment, I was paying $500, but I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car. I used to walk everywhere. I used to take the bus everywhere, but at the time I had no problem with it. Like, it was just second nature. Like, I had a little BMX bike that I used to ride everywhere, and it didn't phase me until I want to say to like 2016, my grandmother, well, I was raised by my grandparents for the most part. And like my parents were in my life though. It's just, you know, a lot of things happen that I won't get into this time. Maybe in the future I'll get into it. But my parents, my grandparents raised me for the most part. And I don't even remember where I was going with this. In like 2016, I think my grandmother had open heart surgery because she had a heart attack. So we didn't think she was going to make it. But at the time, I didn't live with my parents. My mom lived in Philly most of her life. And then my dad lived in the same city as me in Bethlehem. So once my grandma passed, it was like, I got to figure out how to get a license and stuff. So that same, I think I got my license ahead of time. Or I know I got my license mad late in life. Like, I was like, most people get it at 16. I got mine's at 25, I want to say. Yeah. So, the same year she had the heart attack and all that shit, I bought a car. Like, I had a couple hundred and I bought my first car. And it was like a 94 Honda, bro. And like, that shit had problems with I think it was the wheel bearings or something. Like, it was some weird shit and it used to make all this noise. And like, I used to whip that shit around like nothing. I took it to Philly. Like, I came back. Like, I was just being wild. But it sometimes takes, what I'm getting at is, sometimes it takes something to happen to you for you to like realize that, like, damn, I need to do something with myself, or I need to improve my quality of life. And I will say, all the jobs that I had, I've been miserable. And the only thing I've been decent at doing is cooking. And to be honest, like, it's the only thing that I can do where I'm like, okay, but my mental health is like horrible when I cook. But it's the only thing I could do that I could like withstand it almost. And then I've been trying to do the art thing, but I'm not sure how to like take off with it. I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, you gotta do like art shows, you gotta like branch out, and you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And it's just like, yeah, that's your way of doing it, but I don't feel like I can follow somebody else's blueprint because I'm not that person. And at the same time, like I mentioned before with the mental health stuff, it's not that I can't do certain things, it's just it's harder for me to do certain things that it would take like a regular person, neurotypical, I'll say, to do some shit. And like, I know I'll get there one day. Like, I wouldn't mind, even if I worked a regular job and did this part-time, I wouldn't mind it. Like, I'm not saying I want to be a billionaire, but I want it all to come from my art. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, it would be nice if art could help me pay some bills, because it's hard. Like, I work right now 2 jobs and it's not enough. And like, I get by, but I don't want to just get by. Like, that paycheck to paycheck bullshit is it's not fun, because you fall sick or you miss work or something, you playing catch up the whole fucking time, and that shit blows. Can't have no type of fun. You work so hard and you really don't get to enjoy it. And then with the economy that we have right now, it's completely shit. So it's been, honestly, it's been let's say last year been kind of rough. Like, usually I'll get more not commissions, because I don't really do commissions. I kind of do and kind of don't. Just the fact that it's hard to work with people. Um, some people have an idea and they're kind of all over the place. They don't really know what they exactly they want. So for me, it's frustrating to go back and forth, and then for me to put in all my time and effort in something, and then you to say, "Oh, that's not what I want," or "It costs too much," is really what a lot of people say, and it's crazy because what I charge is not that much. Like, and then these the same people walking around with Jordans, Gucci belts and shit like that, but when it comes to art, they won't dish out the money, and it's like, that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. That's not what we doing here, because if I was with Nike or like a big name, you wouldn't be pulling that shit. You don't go to Walmart and say, that's too much, let me not pay you, or I'ma just put that back. Because you see the pricing. Like, if you really want something, you gonna go and get it and you gonna make it happen. Especially, I hate when people would be frauding. Like, they act like they got all this money, and for real, like, some of the paintings I do and stuff, I was selling for like $40, and some people were like, that's too much. And then I got tired of doing it, so I kind of like put it off and just did it for myself for a while. And then, like, once in a while, like, if somebody hit me up, depending on what the job was, I would do it. And sometimes I wouldn't even bother doing it, because I would be like, nah, I'm not doing it, I don't do commissions. But, like, if it's worth it and you're not trying to lowball me and shit, like, I'ma do it or figure it out. Like, even if I don't know how to do it, I'll try to do it. And I'll tell you, I'll be like, look, this is not up my alley, but I'll try to do it, and then I'll let you be the judge of it. Like, you think this isn't, like, if you don't think it's what you wanted it to be, then that's cool. Like, I'll try to sell it another way or whatever, but you gotta be, like, upfront. And some people aren't like that. Like, some people will just ghost you. Like, they'll ask you for pricing and stuff, or they say they want something. You ask for a deposit. My favorite one is, like, you ask for a deposit, and then you'll never hear from them again. And it's like, bro, did I say something wrong? I just gave you the pricing and shit. Like, and then for a while, like, I got tired of talking to people, because I work 2 jobs. I'm not available most of the days. Like, I just cut my hours down, so I could do this when I have free time and stuff. And I had my girlfriend helping me out, and then some people were getting mad that they were talking to her instead of me. And I'm just like, bro, you still gonna get the work done and stuff. Like, I don't know if they just wanted to talk to me directly and shit, but it's like, if I set something up, like, I'll talk to you eventually, but I'm pretty much checking if you're gonna waste my time too, because time is precious. So, like, whoever I have you talk to, or if I talk to you through email or whatever the case, because I'm not giving my phone number out. You could just message me on, what's it called, social media and all that, because, like, time is money, and you don't get time back once it's gone. So, like, wasted time is, like, the worst thing you could possibly do. So I don't think people understand that. Fuck the money. The money, you could always make money. Always. I don't care how bad off you are, you could always make money again. What you can't do is you'll never get back that time. Once that time is gone, it's gone forever. You can't turn back. Can't turn back at all. So you just gotta, like, make life the best you can and just go forward from there. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard as hell. It's hard as hell. But you gotta create boundaries and stuff also. Yep. So sorry if I'm boring you with this talking, but like I said, I'm not gonna edit it with music or anything like that as of yet. And then I don't know how that works if, like, say I do use and if you know any of this stuff in the comments, get, like, help me out. Help me understand, because I'm new to this. Or like tag I don't know if you could tag people, because like I said, I'm not too familiar with YouTube. I just watch it a lot, but I don't really interact too much. Like right now I'm starting to, but like if you know like some good advice places and like advice pages for stuff like that, let me know. Hit me up in the comments, drop a link or something. The ones that I do watch is like 1000. Black Bean is a big one. He's my favorite. I can't even think of who I watch right now. Oh, there's a guy. Rotten Core is another good one. Damn, what's his name? There's a dude. He funny as shit. He just goes around and he's just talking the whole time, right? And he's like one of my favorites because he just be saying whatever the fuck he wants, and then he'll take you on like a whole fucking journey with him. And I think it's like it's Mica. I don't know if it's Mika or Micah. I want to say it's that. The next video I'll make, I'm gonna look it up and then I'll let you guys know what his thing is, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. But he's fucking awesome, and then he creates this cool ass artwork, and he be thrifting a lot too. So he's just all around dope. Like he just shows the real process of everything, from like thrifting, going on Facebook Marketplace to find stuff for his studio, and like putting it together and what it takes. And I think he also makes the canvases, like stretches them out himself. He does everything. So like a lot of shit like I'll pick up from him. I haven't stretched my own canvas yet, but I do be paying attention to shit like that because it's something I would like to do. But as for now, I haven't. But yeah, like there's not too many people that show you the in-depth process, like editing or like, I don't know, just like, I don't know, like the behind the scenes of things is always just really nice. Like it's perfection always in these videos. And I guess that's why I don't not that I don't edit. Like I'll take this right now, I'm recording and I know I'm probably looking at the wrong spot and shit, but I'll go in and I'll try to cut it up a little bit. Like right now we at what, 28 minutes. That's a lot. I've been talking for a long ass time. But like I'll cut it up a little bit, but for the most part I'm not adding any effects. Like I want to be very authentic in the sense of like I'm just a normal ass person that happens to paint and do oil pastels. And like if you listening or if you painting along, feel free to paint along too. Like do your like little own thing. Like I know I do that half the time. Like if I wasn't recording right now, I'd be watching probably an older Black Bean or 1000. I know he came out with like a jean jacket one, like a art battle. But I always watch something in the background to help me. It sounds crazy, but it helps me focus. It really does. I don't know why, but it helps me focus when I do things like that where I have something in the background. Now I'm getting the white. Cause, let me see, what's this? I might as well plug it. So I'm gonna try to get some gray in here. And some black. Take a little bit of this. I have like a little palette here. This is too dark. Cause it's gonna be different things of gray, which I'll probably just, like this part here is a little bit gray. Then I'll go in with the white while it's still and that's the thing too, like, to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. I just like to do it, and I slowly figure it out as I go. I didn't take painting classes ever, but I just really like it. Like I know what certain things are called, like a gradient and all of that. But like the technical way of doing things, I have no idea, y'all. I'm just winging it. Like right now, I'm adding like the highlights and stuff, but it's just adding it in and trying to like blend it together. But I also kind of lose it because, like, say like this part right here, it has to be a lot darker. So I'll try to go in with the black, but then sometimes you'll get it too dark, so I'll start to push it out this way. But I don't know what the term is called for doing that. I don't know if that's still blending or what it is. So mine's like, I get real messy, I'm not gonna lie. And I just love the process because essentially what artists do is take nothing and make something out of it. So to me, that's everything. That's like my whole life, made nothing out of something. I mean, something out of nothing. Because like you start with nothing essentially, and you make your life whatever it is you want it to be. You could always make excuses for not having something or not doing well, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's your own fault. And it's what you do, what your circumstances. You could come from the worst area ever, and you could either create something new out of your experiences and not take it as a loss and be upset, or you could just stay the same way your whole life and not ever do nothing just because you feel like you're owed something. And that's how a lot of people be thinking nowadays. Like their parents owe them this, like they grew up a certain way, oh boo-hoo them. And unfortunately everybody has a story. You're the writer of your story. You're the one choosing your chapters, choosing your titles. You're doing everything. So to allow somebody control over your story is crazy to me. You gotta write your own story and be in charge of that shit. Because at the end of the day, you got one life. One life to make it however you want. That's why I be saying, like, a lot of shit as you get older don't really fucking matter. For real, we pay rent and shit because we have to. But if we didn't, what would you do if we had no rent, no bills, no nothing. What would you do with your time? Just sit on a beach the whole time? You're gonna get tired of that shit. Or are you gonna build yourself something that you could hold on to and make yours? Like, that's the mindset. I remember one of my friends was like, we used to cook together, and he was like, honestly, I like cooking so much that if you didn't pay me, he was like, and I could still live and make my life without getting paid, I'd still do it. And it was powerful to me because it was like, you do this shit for free? Like, and it made me think, like, damn, if we lived in a society where, you know, you didn't have to pay rent, you didn't have to do certain things, what would you do instead of those things? Like, instead of working, what would you do instead? And for me, it's art. Like, I think I would spend a lot of my time doing that, because, like I said, you create something out of nothing. It's like, I don't know how else to describe that feeling. It's like, you feel like powerful. Like, if I wanted to, I could create a whole fucking world. Like, especially like even writers and shit. Like, the person, for instance, who made Lord of the Rings, they created a whole fucking world and characters and lives, and they did it all themselves. That's art to me. That's crazy. That's powerful, to create something out of nothing. That's all it is. It's you creating something. And then some people be like, oh, well, you gotta create something original. No, the fuck you don't. This picture is not original because the picture already exists. All I'm doing is putting my spin on how I see it, my vision of it. So at the end of the day, it's still my work. It's not exactly like every single thing. Like, if I did every single thing the same as this picture, it would just be a photo. So when you do your art, keep in mind you don't want to do exactly everything, because that's just a photo. If you wanted just a photo, then just get a photo of it. You're paying for that person's vision of it, like what they perceive. And that's the cool thing about it. Not everybody perceives the same way in life. Like, we all have different opinions. There's so many different things that go into like life and everything. So it's just cool. It's whatever you make it. I fucking love it though. And I feel like I would want my legacy to be inspired by everything around you. And if you want to do something, do it. But don't let anybody talk you out of doing something, unless it's like hurting somebody or hurting somebody else. But if it's not hurting anybody, then go do it. Get yours. You got one life. One life. So I think I'm gonna stop this video here for right now, because I've been talking a whole lot. I mean, I do see people do videos that are really long. I just don't know. You know what, fuck it. We gonna keep rolling. And we gonna see how this comes out. I think it's gonna be my... Well, I had a channel. I started it. It was the AOEV one, art studio or whatever. And then I changed it to Love Yveliz, which is my first name, because I felt like I did Like, I went through most of my life, keep changing, calling myself Evie so everybody could say it. And I just don't want to do that anymore. Like, I have a name for a reason. And nobody ever calls me by my right name because they can't pronounce it or whatever may be the situation. But it's just like, I call you your name, why can't you just fucking say my name, whether you can say it or not? It's just my name, it's my identity. So why should I have to change my identity just to please you? And that's where that came from. And that's what I've been going by. So, yeah. I don't know. So, honestly, with this, I'm not even going too crazy. Because, like I said, I want it to be more of a... hold on. I'm getting real into it. Need more white. Put up here. And the thing with me too is, like I said, like I've been doing this by myself. Is it's hard to keep yourself motivated, cause who's gonna stop you if you don't want to do it? You gotta force yourself to do it, because nobody don't care if you don't make it. They want you not to make it. But that's why you gotta push even harder to make it, even the days you don't feel like doing it. Like today, I don't feel like doing it. I think I have an ear infection. I've been having migraines and throwing up. But here I am. So, even when you don't feel like it, just go for it. Even if it's just a sketch, just do something. Get creative for the day. Because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody. Like, what's the Marine slogan? The few, the something. And it's true. Because the top dogs are always few. It's not a whole bunch of top dogs. Like, social media gas you up. There's not a lot of top notch people. It's very few people that get to that level. But if you want to get to that level, you gotta do shit other people ain't willing to do. So this is what I have so far. I'm gonna keep it going, but I'm gonna cut the video. Probably do a part 2. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and comment if you want to comment. If you relate, if you don't relate, comment a video you want to see me do another time. And then just stay tuned for the part 2. I'll probably do it sometime this week or later today.